Hey everyone, I know I'm a little bit late to the party on this one, but I'm going to talk about Amber Geiger.
You don't need to be awake, and they need people need to be awake, and they need to be aware. You need to stand up against the sun.
So, in case you didn't hear, in case you're living under a rock, Amber Geiger is a story. It was a cop who went into the wrong apartment and thought someone was trespassing, so she shot him. So I guess she's going away for 10 years. I'm not sure if it's the one that rhymes with furter or man fodder, but anyway, borrowing from the playbook of Amazing Lucas. So I watched his video, and I think maybe I saw some other stuff about this. I know I was for a tad bit watching the Anthony Brian Logan live stream that had talked about this. I think this is already like a week ago, which in today's news cycle is, ages ago. But so I was watching, I kept hearing about it, and I didn't really look into it too much. Apparently, I guess the mainstream media was talking about it a lot. But so what happened was this female cop gets off duty, she drives home, she parks in the parking garage. She thinks she's parking on the parking garage floor equivalent to her floor in the building. Goes into the building, walks to what she thinks is her apartment. Now here's the thing is, a lot of people are saying, how could this happen? Like, the question that I had was, how did her key work? It turns out, and my thumbnail is giving this away a little bit, but the door was like slightly ajar and the lights were like not on. So she came in, and then she thought like someone was in her apartment, and like she shot the guy. Apparently she gave him some verbal commands, which he didn't say anything. I don't know, the whole thing is just weird. It sort of makes a little bit of sense, but even so, you would think that if you, push your door open and, it goes right open, like it has no give to it, like you don't have to actually use the key, or there's no like click or anything like that, like, you're not pushing it out of, you put the key in and the whole door pushes open. That would be like your first clue that something's not right. And a normal person who's not a cop would, I guess if you carry maybe, but if you're not a cop and you don't carry, you basically, if you're doing the proper thing, have to turn around and like call the cops and wait for them to come. But even so, you would think like the first thing would be, a disbelief. Am I really getting robbed? So you would take a step back and like, okay, let me double check that, especially if you live in an apartment building like that, I would think that you would like, okay, let me back up. I'm tired, I'm distracted. Apparently she was sexting her partner from the police force. That's not an issue at all. No, that's not inappropriate. Not at all. Anyway. But, you see something like that going on, that should kind of make you alert and be like, whoa, let me take a step back here. And I would think that the logical conclusion would be that you would like back out of the apartment first and kind of regroup before like you handle it, at which point maybe she'd have noticed that it said, I guess it was 1378 instead of 1478 was the apartment number, but yeah. So, must have been a big building. It sounds like she was on the 13th floor instead of the 14th floor. But I thought I saw somewhere maybe it was the third floor versus the first floor, then I don't know why. They would need to have leading ones. Maybe they thought that it made the building seem fancier. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was the 13th floor. Anyway, but that's the missing piece of information, is that the door was actually open. And then also, because another thing is, you would think, like, you walk into, I mean, when I come into my apartment, the first thing I do before I come in is I turn my lights on. Like, literally, I, like, reach in and turn the lights on first thing, because they're around the corner from my door. So I open the door, and, like, before I'm even in the apartment, I'm turning the lights on. That's, like, the first thing I do. So I don't know. I mean, the rest of you, if you live in an apartment, when you come in, do you turn the lights on first thing? Because that's another thing that's weird. Like, why didn't you turn the lights on? If the layouts of the apartments were exactly the same, you know, sure, the guy was sitting there. I guess, you know, some people turn their lights off when they watch TV. I guess he was watching a movie and eating ice cream. So they were saying it was dark, so she just kind of saw, like, a shadowy figure. But I don't know, why didn't he say something? Why was his door unlocked and ajar, no less? This leaves me with so many questions. So many questions, no answers. But one question that I had was answered when I looked into it further, which I'm seeing the reason why I'm making this video is I'm seeing other people have the same comment. How did her key work in his lock or something? And the answer to that is no, the door was actually ajar. This is a big case for making sure you lock your doors, ladies and gentlemen. I know people who, I guess, like, if you have kids, people who have kids, sometimes when their kids are, like, running around playing, they're in and out of the house, they leave their doors unlocked. And then, I mean, that's what my mom did when I was growing up. The door was unlocked until, like, after dinner, and then, you know, we locked all the doors. But, so, like, the outside door and the apartment door, we lived in a 2-family building growing up in my mom's house, and so we had the side door, and the landlord that lived above us had the front door. So our outside door was the side door, and so we had to come in when the streetlights came on. And so once us kids were in for the night, we'd come in, and my mom would lock the side door, and then when we went to bed, she would lock the apartment door, because we had shared access to the basement, so we were in and out of the basement also once we were in the building. Anyway, I'm rambling as usual, but tell me below in the comments, you know, I mean, now I live alone, so I walk in the door, I lock my apartment door. So, tell me, do you live in an apartment or a house? Do you lock your front door? Do you lock your apartment door? Or do you sometimes leave it open? I know people who do that, like if they're friends with a neighbor in their apartment building, they might leave their apartment door open and their friends might come in and out, like from down the hall or whatever next door. So do you do that? Do you leave any of your doors unlocked? Maybe unlocked but closed, or completely ajar? Do you ever leave your door ajar because somebody's coming over? I don't know. I'm very curious. Alright, everybody, thanks for stopping by. I'll see you all next time.
People need to be awake, and they need to be aware. They need to stand up against the sun. People need to be awake. People need to be awake, and they need to be aware. They need to stand up against the stuff.
And it's so politically engaged.
And is so politically engaged.